kind of the Sephora sale. It's like the one time a year the mean girls talk to us and they're like, hey, are you a poor loser? Do you want 10% off? And we're like, and they're like, hey y'all, and welcome to Clove Room. So we are here, the Sephora holiday savings event, holiday VIB sale, holiday spectacular, everything must go, but actually everything must not go because we're only giving you 20% off. The Sephora sale is here, and the Sephora sale is a big deal, has been a big deal, will probably always be a big deal, especially in the beauty community that I personally haunt. But why? I knew I wanted to cover or just do content about the Sephora sale in some way on my channel. As I mentioned in my no-buy update, the Sephora sale is often my Achilles heel when it comes to overconsumption, when it comes to buying too much, when it comes to doing low no-buy projects. Raise your hand if you've been a victim of the Sephora sale before. I certainly have. And I thought about just doing a sales survival type video or something along that line. I mean, I think Hannah Louise Poston has us covered in that regard. I also may, after this video, post a shopping my stash for things I may be somewhat interested in picking up from the Sephora sale if I wasn't on a no-buy. So that might be on the way. Also, Hope Miss Tom, they just did a wonderful video where they are basically just the entire video talking you out of the most popular products, which I think was really helpful and good. So I'll link that below. I'll link HLP. All of that good stuff. And you know, the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, let's not do sales survival. Maybe we'll do a shop my stash next. But what if I just kind of started and maybe hosted, hopefully in my comments, a discussion on like why the Sephora sale is such a big deal? There are so many reasons it shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be, that it doesn't make sense that it has this crazy hold on the beauty community. But then the more I thought about it, there are some legitimate good reasons why it does. And this video, I don't have any I think incredible secret knowledge or anything, but sometimes when I have questions like this, or I'm particularly maybe somewhat spellbound by something, I don't know, what helps is just simply talking through it. So in this video, I'm simply talking through why I think the Sephora sale is a big deal, but also why I think it shouldn't be a big deal. And of course, if you do end up liking this video, please give it a like. It helps me a lot in the wild, wild west of the YouTube algorithm. If you enjoy my content, subscribe. I will have future videos, perhaps even on the Sephora sale. And I really would love if you wanted to comment on this video, agree, disagree with me. I just think I would just be interested in having a very meta discussion on why the Sephora sale occupies this pretty special place in the beauty pantheon of the online world. So a quick catch up or refresher if you are not familiar with the Sephora sale or you have forgotten, whatnot. So Sephora typically does two really big public sales per year. Sometimes they have I think in earlier, or not earlier years, but in the somewhat recent past there have been summer savings events that have mirrored the structure of the two big sales a year, but we didn't have one this year and I don't think there was one last year. It doesn't really matter. We know for sure coming into the new year that there will be two Sephora sales that are open to the public or accessible to the public. There's one in the spring savings event or the spring VIB sale, yada, yada, yada. And then there's one in the fall, winter, November, usually end of October as it is this year. That is the fall. Or this graphic I have in front of me just says the Sephora savings event. So maybe we're just calling it Sephora savings event. But it's basically a ginormous sale, and I'll put the graphic up, where the entire Sephora collection, so the in-house Sephora brand, is 30% off for everyone. Who cares? The savings are based on your point status or your beauty insider status at Sephora. So the highest discount is 20% that you can get on the sale on things that are not the Sephora collection. That is just for people who are VIB Rouge. That goes from October 27th to November 6th. And then the next step down is 15% off. That is just for if you are VIB. That one is October 31st until the end of the sale on November 6th. And then if you are a measly insider, if you have not given Sephora enough of your lunch money, they don't care about you and you will only get 10% off, and you can shop the sale actually starting the same day as VIB, which is interesting, on October 31st, and you can shop it till the end of the sale on November 6th. And if you're online, use code time to save. And if you're in store, mention it at checkout. That would be so mean if like it was a Sephora sale and you didn't get like any discount. Like I hate that you have to like mention something. Also, every year there is a Sephora family and friends sale. That's kind of hard unless you are good friends or family, friends and family, with a Sephora employee to get a code for. I think that entire thing's 20%. I've never shopped that. And then I was just poking around on the website and I thought I'd mention this. As somebody, I actually am VIB Rouge. I'm not too happy to admit that. But if you are VIB Rouge, you can actually gift your 20% off discount to a friend, which is interesting. So if you have a buddy who isn't a VIB Rouge and they want that 20% discount, and you are a VIB Rouge, you can be Beauty Santa Claus this year. Also, everyone's saying this and I agree. We have no confirmation. We don't know this for sure. We could all be lying to you. I don't know. But usually after the Sephora fall saving haul event, square dance, Sephora is like, LOL, just kidding. Everyone gets a 20% off code, and everyone, regardless of your Beauty Insider status, gets a one-time 20% off use coupon, which is worth knowing because if you are VIB, maybe just wait for that. We don't know that for sure, and I think that's why people still shop the Sephora sale. Even if they don't get that 20% off coupon, because that's not a guarantee. First, I'm going to be offering the reasons why I think the Sephora sale shouldn't be as popular as it is. Kind of the case against the Sephora sale. What is all of the things that I've heard people say, all of the things that I think of, why it's sort of puzzling that this measly sale is the event that it is. And then after that, I'm actually going to offer the reasons that I've come up with that I think are kind of counteracting those. The reasons that actually the Sephora sale, it makes sense. It's the top of the zeitgeist of the holiday sales beauty world. So I will go ahead and launch into why the Sephora sale shouldn't be as popular as it is. The first reason is so obvious. It's the one everyone's probably screaming at their screen right now. The one we talk about, the one we joke about. It's not that great of a deal. Sales usually hang their hat on how good they are based on the discount. And this discount kind of sucks. Like 20% off is not that great of a deal. And even worse of a deal when you realize the vast majority of shoppers are not going to get that 20% off. Most are just going to get 15% or even 10%. That's just not a great deal. It would be one thing if beauty never went on sale. But beauty, we know, goes on sale a lot during the year, even not during holiday times. Any made-up holiday, like I'm pretty sure it was National Clean Your Pillowcases Day sometime this year, and like every brand offered 20% off just for National Clean Your Pillowcases Day. So why, in this Hallmark beauty sale, is the best deal you can get 20% off? And I know you can get Sephora collection for 30% off, but like, that's not even, like, who cares? And even if there isn't a sale going on, it is nearly impossible not to go to a brand site and find a discount that either matches or exceeds the one available during the Sephora sale just for saying hi to the brand. Like a brand will not let you get off their website without offering you like 25% off your first purchase or something like that. Either through email sign up, text sign up, carrier pigeon subscription service, whatever. Like brands, individual brands or other beauty marketplaces even are eager and willing and want you to offer you either a first time use or just they're having sales constantly, use of discount codes. And then you think of all the influencers who have codes for certain brands. Natasha Denona is now really doubling down on their influencer code system. Viseart, which isn't a brand sold at Sephora, but what I'm trying to say is so many brands are getting in on doing influencer codes, and those influencer codes often are the same discount as the Sephora sale, if not more. And then we think about the crazy sales brands will have, the nutty like 50% off, 40% off, 30% off. Again, all much higher than the Sephora sale. For example, Pat McGrath, which is a brand sold at Sephora. Unless you have like store credit at Sephora or a gift card at Sephora, I would never buy Pat McGrath I mean, at all at Sephora, but especially during a Sephora sale, because Pat will give you 40% off. Like I would never buy Pat McGrath item. Like 20% off is the lowest discount I would accept before I bought a Pat McGrath item. That's how often her website puts her products on sale. So yeah, I mean, the biggest strike against the Sephora sale is that as a sale, this next point I want to make is sort of similar to that. But it's that there's no doorbuster deals here. There's no crazy deals. There's no get a Dyson for 50% off. There's no everyone get a Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette for 50% off. There's no sort of Ulta of 20 days? 50 days? How long is the Days of Beauty? 30 Days of Beauty? 29 Days of Beauty? However many days of beauty that Ulta has during their sale, there's none of those half-off deals. Although, interestingly now, Sephora does match. Like, if they sell the same brand as Ulta, that is a deal during the 15 days of beauty? I really don't know how many days of beauty there are. What kind of beauty guru am I? Should I, stop filming right now? No, I'll persevere. So Sephora actually does match the Ulta deals during Ulta's Little Savings event, but still, Sephora doesn't do any of that during their own sale. This sale, you max out at that 20% off coupon code. There's no steals. Everything is just a very slight discount. Next reason why the Sephora sale should not be as popular as it is, the Sephora rewards program sucks. It is not generous. Ulta has a fabulous rewards program. I think there's been some issues with the administration of it recently. I've heard some people have had some issues with them accurately recording their rewards points or them getting eaten by the system and Ulta not being accommodating and all of that good stuff. So I'm not saying Ulta has a perfect reward system by any means, but at least they will give you stuff. Sephora rewards program, I for years collected points, and finally after 2 years of buying too much stuff at Sephora, I finally qualified for $100 gift card, which was nice. But also, if you hear my dog snoring, it's because my dog is snoring behind me. It was nice to get that discount. It was nice to get that gift card from Sephora, but still, it was one of those things. It felt like I'd been a kind of really hard job for 2 years, and I've been working my ass off and literally dying for the company without a day off for years. And then they were like, "Hey, we'll sponsor a long weekend staycation for you." And it's like, well, I don't think that's enough, but okay, thanks. Oh, baby, you barking on your dreams? He's barking on his dreams. It just didn't feel, even though the $100 gift card was nice to receive, I know at Ulta, if I had spent that same amount of money, I would have gotten much more of that in points, and at Ulta the points really do translate to just dollars. Again, that took a while to save up all of those points, and a lot of money was spent doing that. And besides that, Sephora will offer you basically point perks or point rewards that are the size of free samples most brands give out. I mean, sometimes they'll give you maybe a deluxe size of something, but still, I mean, it's mostly stuff that you can get free gift with purchase at most beauty counters or very, very tiny vials of things. And to add insult to injury, you have to be online at 9:30 on a Tuesday or a Thursday to claim the reward. So just because I have 2,500 points, I had to wait a month until it became available and I was able to nab the reward before it went out of stock, which doesn't even make sense, right? But yeah, there's also this weird competitive edge to Sephora's points where it's not enough that you've spent over thousands of dollars here and would like to receive $100 rebate, which again is not that generous. You actually have to make sure you're online for it and make sure, blah, blah. And if y'all know me, y'all know I hate having to work hard for something that I shouldn't have to work hard for. It's like if Ebenezer Scrooge, ran a makeup store, this would be his, I think, rewards program. It's pretty measly, which feels cheap because Sephora is so expensive. Next reason why the Sephora sale shouldn't be as popular is that so many people hate Sephora. So many people just straight up do not have good experiences in the store. I mean, this can be as funny as, people joking about how I always feel like I need to have my makeup done really well or they're going to judge me. And, this can be as serious and ugly as people of color feeling really judged on Sephora spaces, which I think Sephora has taken actionable steps on that. But still, like, Sephora doesn't give you warm flutteries, honestly, a lot of the times. A lot of people have had unkind experiences in the store. Many folks have felt that they were straight up discriminated against in the store. And again, I'm going to go over the things that I think are good for the store. I will say, I've never personally had that experience in a Sephora store. For the most part, all the Sephora employees I've encountered have been lovely. But I'm just saying, there is this stereotype about Sephora not being a kind place to go, especially if you are not already a beauty girl and you have a full beat on. And that again adds to this sort of like, why is this sale so popular? The next reason I want to give for why this sale should not be as popular is a little bit complicated, but I want you to go with me. There is a really large financial buy-in to participate in this sale, but just a large buy-in in the mental capacity it takes to understand this sale. So what I mean by that is most sales, you just walk into the store and they have a red sign that says 20% off. Or maybe they have some tags that are like, if it's green, it's 30, if it's blue, it's 40, red, it's 50, etc., etc. The Sephora sale is not like that. You have to sign up for a rewards program to even be able to purchase. So I can't just walk in off the street during the Sephora sale, grab a concealer, and be like, give me the 10% off. I'm assuming I've never shopped in the Sephora, by the way. I can't just do that. They would have to sign me up for the rewards program before I do that. And I would hope that, I feel like the Sephora workers are usually pretty like, oh, do you want to participate in the sale when you're checking out during the sale? But if they're not, and you don't know to ask for it, you might not necessarily get that discount, which is kind of a more taxing buy-in for a sale than I feel like we're used to seeing in most normal, like, American sales. Not just that, but to truly reap the benefits of the sale, to get that top 20% discount, you have already had to spend thousands of dollars at Sephora. To even get this measly discount, you've already had to buy a bunch of things, probably full price. It's asking a lot to receive quite a little in terms of a discount. The final reason why the Sephora sale should not be as popular as it is that, and this one's short and sweet, but the shipping times, if you're shopping online during the sale, the shipping times during the Sephora sale are whack. Like, Sephora's shipping, for me personally, usually is pretty quick, usually within the week. I live in Georgia, if that helps contextualize that for you, but usually it's pretty quick. During the sale, I swear it can take weeks, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks to get your orders from the sale. And even then, stuff is constantly going out of stock. So not even is just the discount not super generous. The actual experience, if you are shopping online, can be pretty bad because you're waiting forever on these products. So those are all the reasons I think the Sephora sale should not be as popular as it is. And I would say that it has a lot going against it. Like, it's not a good sale. It's kind of a hard sale to navigate. It can be a bad experience for the customer because oftentimes products are sold out or they take forever to get to you. So why on earth is this sale so popular? And I have come up with some reasons I'm going to give now on why I think the Sephora sale is so popular. First reason, Sephora is the true one-stop shop for beauty lovers. That sounds like a marketing slogan, probably was at some point if it isn't now. But in these United States, it is true. Brands give up a lot to be on the shelves at Sephora or be sold online at Sephora. They give up money. They're giving up profits. They're having, from what I've heard, to adjust to what Sephora expects them to release, how often they expect them to release, what products Sephora wants them to release, what shades of products Sephora wants to release and thinks they can sell. There's a big buy-in, and it is not just hard to get into Sephora, but it is not always the best deal to be in Sephora. But it's worth it so often because a lot of people aren't like me, or maybe you, us, watching, who are really immersed in beauty and want to know about all the newest brands, want to know about all the newest products, who, enjoy shopping indie brands or enjoy just going direct to consumer. So many consumers love beauty and they love being in it, but they have other things going on in their lives, or they've not chosen to make this like, a true hobby or passion. But they still want, the cool products, the trendy products. And they trust Sephora to deliver them because Sephora does a really good job of curating brands. I'm not saying every brand in Sephora is great. I'm not saying every brand's a smash hit, but overall Sephora does, I think, don't hit me, curate the best selection of beauty products that I want to buy. At least that's available to me in the United States. It takes a lot of that research work out for the customer. One thing I hear a lot, and I just said this earlier, is that brand sites will always give you a better discount on the Sephora sale, or at least match the discount. And you don't have to buy in to get this discount. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars for a brand to give you 20% off. Like, a brand's happy to do that if they can just have your phone number and bug you for the rest of your life. Victoria Beckham, stop texting me, please. Like, stop. However, I think, and I do agree that, you know, sometimes shopping a brand directly from the brand is the way to go. If you are interested in immersing yourself in that brand, if you want to try several products, if you want to do a full face of a brand. However, oftentimes I don't. Oftentimes I'm just curious about a lip product, or I just want to try a blush, or I just want to try a foundation. And when I take people's advice and I try to just go to the brand's website, yes, often they will give me a discount for an email sign up, or they're just having a 20% off sale at random times. And yes, I can add that item to my cart, but I only want to buy that item. I only want to buy that item. And so I get the discount on the actual item's price, and then I discover I have not hit the shipping threshold. And I'm like, well, actually, with shipping, it's actually more expensive for me to buy this product here, if I just want to buy this product, because the discount I'm getting on the product doesn't make up for me having to pay the $6.95 in shipping. So then the query becomes, well, I could just add another thing. I could pick the second product I want to try the most from the brand and add that to my order from the brand website. Then I hit shipping and I get a discount on everything and everyone's happy. But I only wanted that one product. And actually, what I really wanted to do is I really wanted to try that blush from that company. But then there was another similar company. I wanted to try their concealer. So then if I wanted to do that, I would have to go to the other company's direct site. Yes, they would give me that little email discount or text discount. But then I go to check out and I have that same problem where I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll pick the second most product I want from company B. But then now I'm getting 4 products. And even though I've received 20% off perhaps all of them, I just wanted the 2 products. And if I had just bought the 2 products full price, or let's say this Sephora sale is going on and I was only an insider, if I had just bought the 2 products at 10% off from Sephora, gotten the free shipping, because Sephora usually has a free shipping code going on at all times, I would actually have spent just less money if I had just gone to Sephora. So while I agree when people are like, oh my God, you should always go to the brand site. You should always go to the brand site. So many brands have pretty high shipping thresholds that oftentimes you'll save more money if you just go to Sephora, because again, it's a one-stop shop and there's something really convenient about that. I know some people may disagree with that, but there's a reason I choose usually to buy things at Sephora versus a brand's actual website. Next reason why I think the Sephora sale is so popular. I know I commented earlier that it's really complicated to buy in and understand the sale. But on the flip side, I think it is actually somewhat easy to understand because everything's on sale. Everything's on sale. The wall art you see, the floorboards, the whatever you want to buy, it is on sale for 10, 15, 20% off. I know there's usually some fine print about maybe certain prestige brands aren't on sale or some certain tools sometimes aren't on sale, but for the most part, like 99.9% of that store and its website is on sale. It's on sale. And it's all one flat rate. And once you know your flat rate, whether that's 10, 15, or 20, it's easy because you can just be like, okay, I know if I want to buy this during the sale, I have this 15% off discount. So I can count on everything being 15% off. And there's something a little bit easier and more almost luxe about that. Instead of, I mentioned earlier the example of going into a store and they have green tags for certain prices off, blue tags for others, red tags for others, and you really have to sift through. You have to get out your phone calculator and you have to be like, what's this? And then you're like, what does green mean again, Mom? And your mom's like, honey, we gotta go. You have school tomorrow. And then you're like, well, I still want to get McDonald's for dinner. And she's like, I don't think we need McDonald's for dinner tonight. And, we bought those chicken tenders at the grocery store. And then it becomes this whole thing. And then you realize you're reliving your childhood while you're trying to make a Sephora video talking about a sale. And then you're like, how did I even get here? Why am I like being so meta about the Sephora sale of all things? I didn't even know what Sephora was 5 years ago. And then you remember you actually are filming a video and you should get back to the point. What was my point? The Sephora sale is pretty easy to understand. It can be easier to understand this sale because it's a flat rate discount. And there's something nice about that. There's something easy about that. My next reason why this Sephora sale is so popular. It may be a bad rewards program, but it is better than nothing. And what I mean by that is, yes, Sephora rewards program, nothing to write home about, somewhat difficult to understand, and then once you actually earn enough points to try to get a reward, you have to like elbow other beauty lovers out of the way at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday. That's stupid. But if I being a beauty lover, and I know there's Sephora at the mall I like to go to, I know every 3 months I need to go and get new products, and I prefer prestige brands, not like super, super luxe like you may find at a Nordstrom, but I prefer prestige with a drop of luxury. I also, like to check out the new fresh, clean brands for the youth. I know it's easiest if I just go to Sephora every 3 months. Or if I do need things in between then, I can go to Sephora.com and I can just get from there. And I also like that they have hair products and they have beautiful skincare. And then you say to yourself, you know what? It's not the best rewards program, but Sephora is the store I like to shop at the most. So I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket. And that's easier for me. That's easier than having to sign up for text alerts all the time to get my 20% off. Or it's easier than getting emails all the time from Kosas, Say, Merit, Tower 28, Glossier, Pat McGrath, etc., etc. It's easier than just having all these different brands talking to me all the time. I just want to talk to Sephora. I know they're not as generous. They can be kind of mean sometimes, but I'd rather just put all my eggs in one basket, get my Sephora discount. Every 2,500 points, I get $100 gift card. Or hell, I'll just use my points kind of piecemeal. I'll get some deluxe samples of products I'm interested in. I don't really care. I'd rather just invest in that Sephora rewards program. And at least it's there. And I know if I do that with how much I buy every year, I'll get the 20% off twice a year. That's enough for me. The next reason why the Sephora sale is so popular is a little bit more, I don't want to say insidious, but I do think it's an important element that we need to consider in why this sale is all over the zeitgeist. Influencers are incentivized both directly and indirectly by Sephora to promote the absolute boop out of the Sephora sale. Even if you're only mildly on beauty TikTok or you only still watch a couple of beauty YouTubers, when the Sephora sale is on, you know the Sephora sale is on. And sometimes that is certainly because Sephora does have an influencer budget, clearly. And I have definitely seen Sephora recommendation videos that are directly sponsored by Sephora. However, so often at times, they're not, which is really crazy. Because usually companies, if you hear about a sale a lot, like Credo. Credo just had a sale. And I know I did see some people who just made videos without being sponsored because they thought that was worth their while to get that information out to their audience. But I mainly heard about the Credo sale because I got a million ads on TikTok and probably YouTube, but mainly on TikTok about the Credo sale, and they were promoting it nonstop. And I'm not saying Sephora doesn't do a lot of paid advertising for this sale, but it's the fact that they will do a lot of paid advertising, and even if influencers are not being sponsored to talk about the Sephora sale, the insane affiliate money that they can make by doing a sales recommendation video, by linking everything, by people using their links, or even just using their one Sephora link before they go in to shop the sale. I mean, I don't actually have numbers, but I have to think, because I don't know why so many people would make content about this sale. I have to think so much money is at stake here, that there's so much money to be had, that specifically in the beauty community I'm in, of people who usually make long-form content and long-form beauty content, and they talk a lot about the brands that are in Sephora, that the Sephora sale is a huge time when people are looking for advice. They're looking to hear what's the best of the best. Maybe they don't watch beauty YouTube all the time, but they know every year they can go to youtube.com, and the few YouTubers they subscribe to will do a Sephora recommendations video. They know they can trust these YouTubers, or that they have similar skin types. This one's complexion products usually work for me. This one usually has my same taste in eyeshadow. I can go watch their videos, get their recommendations, likely click their links, and that's going to make them a lot of money. And I think that's important to remember, that influencers want to talk about this, not because it's a great sale, and not because certainly it's once in a lifetime. It's twice in a year. Like, twice in a year is much more than once in a lifetime. It's not that they're so impressed by the sale that they have to make content about it. It's that they know that they stand to make a lot of money on this. And I'm not saying everybody who makes those videos is like this money hungry, terrible influencer. I think a lot of them do a good job of contextualizing, of saying like, hey, this actually isn't that great of a sale. Like, please only use my links to shop responsibly. Don't put yourself in debt over this. But a lot of them don't. And a lot of them act like this is something you should rush to. That, you know, I've seen influencers like right at the strike of midnight, VIBs are allowed to shop, and they'll like go on every platform they have and be like, VIBs, it's your turn, hurry up and build your carts before everything's sold out. And it's like, there's no rush. Like, stuff will come back in stock, or it'll be available in other places, or they can just wait and it'll still be available the next day. And they feed into Sephora's marketing messages. Again, whether they're being paid directly by Sephora or not, there's a big pie of money in the Sephora sale. And it's easier than most because of its popularity to reach in and get some. And I think some people do that responsibly and professionally, and I think a lot of other people don't. Next reason is a little bit more I guess color commentary and me doing a little bit of let's say pop psychology. But my next reason why the Sephora sale is so popular, and I'm just going to read this directly from my doc that I have here in my video outline. Sephora is still the cool girl. It might be snobby, but getting a discount feels special. At other more cheap or more affordable makeup stores, you expect them to have sales. You expect things to be discounted. At Sephora, you know, a little pinkies up a little bit, like things never go on sale here. So even though the sale, when compared to other sales in the industry, is not as good, you're still like, but you never do a sale. So in some ways, that makes the sale better because y'all don't do sales all the time, right? Even though if we zoom out, we see it's not a great sale. When we're zoomed in to Sephora land, and you know, we go every time we're at the mall, but we're always like, this stuff's too expensive. The one time you go during the sale, you're like, well, they legitimately never do sales. So if you're gonna buy it, like, now's a great time to buy it, because every other time it's not gonna be on sale. And this time it's on sale technically, even though it's probably only 10% if you're talking like that. But for the most part, Sephora does a pretty good job of maintaining its exclusivity. And it's what I would compare, you know, if you're, and I know this firsthand, I was a loser in middle school. It's like when, you know, the popular girls are always mean to you. They're always mean to you. And you hate them and you talk shit about them with your friends because you're like, oh, they're so nasty, they're so mean, they're so stupid, they're never going to amount to anything in life. Unlike me, who's going to be a non-binary beauty YouTuber one day. Like, blah, blah, blah. But then one day, even though you hate these girls, guys, Carly turns around. And it's because she needs something from you and is about to use you. But still, she turns around and is like, hey, Kim, what's up? And you're like, hey, Carly. Carly's like, hey, like, I noticed, like, I really like your shoes. Are those new shoes? And you're like, yeah, they are new shoes. Thanks, Carly. And she's like, awesome, yeah, they look really good. Did you do last night's history homework? And you're like, yeah. And you know where this is going, but you're still honored that this soul is talking to you. And you're like, yeah, I did. She's like, I had basketball practice. I didn't get around to it. Could I just, like, see what you got for 6 and 7? Like, please, like, you're just, like, it's just, you're so smart and you're so good at everything. And my mom gets really mad at me that I don't get better grades. And even though Carly has been awful to you, said horrible things to and behind your back, is just not a good person, you're like, yeah, Carly. And then the rest of the day, she's kind of nicer to you. And then the next day, she hates you and will never talk to you again and will never act like she actually ever talked to you. That's kind of the Sephora sale. That's kind of the Sephora sale. It's like the one time a year the mean girls talk to us and they're like, hey, are you a poor loser? Do you want 10% off? And we're like, and they're like, everything's already sold out and, you know, it'll take a month to get you your package, but we'll give you 10% off. And we come running. All right, my last reason is even more out there of why I think the Sephora sale is so popular, and it can definitely maybe even be looked at as sad or shallow angle, but I'm actually doing it from the most optimistic, we all need community perspective. And that's just classic FOMO. And I don't mean in that like, well, this person got this, so I must get it too. I mean in that when you love beauty, and I'm really talking about the beauty community that I'm a part of and that I know so many of y'all are a part of. When you love beauty as intensely as we do, and you have an encyclopedic knowledge of brands, of products, of textures, of when things were released, of the controversies of when they were released, of all of this, it can be lonely when you don't have real life connections for that, when you don't have people in your life who you can talk to this stuff about. Who, you know, you may have friends who also like makeup and all of that, but they don't get it like you do. Like, they don't know the controversies. They don't remember where they were when Bye Sister happened. Like, they don't remember all of the Huda controversies, the ABH controversies, all the controversies. Like, they don't know what you know. And the people who do know what you know, you watch online, and you don't have, you have parasocial relationships with. Maybe they've replied to your comments. Maybe they DM you sometimes, but you don't have the relationships you want to be able to really talk about this stuff like you would with a real human being. You just have these parasocial relationships. The Sephora sale being this giant community event, it makes you want to participate in it. And not just, I mean, yes, because you want more things, and there's this insidious love of consumerism and insidious love of wanting more plastic. But also, I think the Sephora sale is so popular because a lot of us want to participate in something that affirms how much we love beauty and how much we get it. And when Sephora sale rolls around, all those people we have parasocial relationships with are participating just like us, are waiting on their packages forever just like us, are annoyed that they didn't get the Dior highlighter quad just like us. And it's one of the few times during the year where we can all really participate in the same thing, and we can all be a part of this weird community that has this niche, semi-useless encyclopedic knowledge of beauty. And I just want to say, I think that's valid. I think it's kind of beautiful that, and sad that, you know, we don't have that many opportunities for real community so often in our society because of the internet and whatnot. But I think sometimes the Sephora sale can be a really scrumptious substitute for that. And I mean, I'm not saying this solves wanting to overshop and overconsume, but one thing that's really helped me in that regard is actually making online friends that do get it. And, you know, through this YouTube journey and through just being on beauty Instagram now, I have so many, like, not in real life, I've never met any of them, but I have so many friends I can actually talk to about this stuff. And it makes it easier not to participate and not put all my eggs in these big sales where I feel like I need to be a part of it to be an active participant in the beauty community. I can just talk to my friends about it. I can DM Ivy or Tom or Colin or Juliet or whoever and just have a conversation like with a real human who really gets it about it. So I'm not saying all of your wants and needs from the Sephora sale are going to go away if you start a beauty Instagram, but I am saying it could be a good option. I am saying, like, if you just love beauty so much and you want to be in it all the time, buying it isn't the only option. Like, overbuying isn't the only option. Over participating in sales is not the only option. You can make friends, as it turns out. I've just learned this within the past year. You can make friends who may even know way more than you about all this stuff and get to talk to them about it and get to pick their brain. And it's way better than buying too much at the Sephora sale. But I just wanted to say that because I think there's a lot of bad reasons why the Sephora sale is so popular, but I think us craving community for something that we're all so passionate about is kind of the coolest reason why it's so popular. But I think it's unfair how much Sephora takes advantage of that. That is for sure. All right, and that is all of the reasons I have for why the Sephora sale is popular, why it is the pinnacle of beauty sales, and of course all the reasons I mentioned earlier of why I don't think it should be as popular as it is. Now, I am sure y'all have opinions on this, and I really, really want to hear them. So please comment below, even if you disagree with me and you're like, it shouldn't be. I would love to hear them. I'm so curious. If you have any reasons I didn't mention one way or the other, please comment them. I would love this to be, a respectful discussion, of course, but I would just love to hear what y'all think. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you give it a big they them. Like, helps me a lot in the wild west of the YouTube algorithm. Again, I'm begging you to comment because I'm just so curious what y'all think. Share this video with a friend. I don't know, maybe you have a friend who'll like me. Subscribe if you want to see future uploads. Again, I think I'm going to do at least one more video about the Sephora sale, which will just be me shopping my stash since, again, I'm on a no buy, so I will not be shopping the Sephora sale this year. And yeah, thanks y'all so much for watching. This was a fun one to do. Bye y'all.